Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 34 of Builders Talk. And I guess I started this show with a mission to change aspects within the building industry and not just change how we as builders work, but also support the building community make changes to who we need to become to initiate those changes within ourselves and the industry. So typically the Australian culture is very much, she'll be right and everything will be okay. And people seem to hide their personal or business issues and dramas. They don't speak up or speak at all. And maybe this is due to the shame that they may be feeling or what they think other people will think of them. And it is affecting the mental health of Australians and also people working in the building industry who has one of the highest rates of suicide in all the industries within Australia. So like the campaign, It Ain't Weak to Speak, their mission is to break the stigma of mental health, improving people's mental health through early intervention and prevention initiatives. And this is why this is what I'm wanting to do in the building industry and help people break the stigma of it and to ask for support. You know, it is okay to speak up or to speak out. It is okay to say, hey, I am struggling here and I'm not sure how I can fix the issue and how can I deal with this situation or this client? I really don't know. Can someone give me some advice, or has someone been in this situation before? I find that as a mum and dad, I guess, local business, there's a lot less support compared to a big corporation where there may be someone employed or they have affiliation with support businesses that can come in and help people within their business community. But we don't have that support as mum and dad businesses or as mum and dad builders or family businesses. And we need to support each other. We need to have a community of like-minded, custom home builders, mum and dad businesses, family businesses. And I know the battle with asking for support. Support may be needed in many different ways. You may need mental support, you might need financial support, or just family support. And I always remind myself that my situation could be a lot worse. I don't know if you've heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but I wanted to talk today about the needs that basically every human needs to, function in the world. So as defined by Wikipedia, that hierarchy is a classification system which reflects the universal needs of society. And it's a pyramid type model that depicts deficiency needs and growth needs. And the difference between deficiency needs and growth needs is a change in motivation as needs are met. So our motivations change as our needs are met. And in order to move, higher up the pyramid of needs, he said that each stage must be satisfied, or it can overlap within the individuals themselves. So there's pretty much 5 levels, with the base need being physiological needs, followed by safety needs, belonging and love needs, and esteem needs. And these are all deficiency needs. And then the next one, or the highest level of the hierarchy is growth needs, which is self-actualization needs. And I'll give you a brief description of the needs of each level that need to be satisfied in order for us to move to the next level. So physiological needs are what we need as humans to survive. We obviously need these things before we can think about our higher needs. We need air, we need water, we need food, we need sleep, we need shelter, we need clothes. So if we're struggling to meet these needs, we find it difficult to move on to, the next level, which is safety or security or love and belonging needs, which are health and financial security, personal and emotional securities. And once we feel we are secure, we then feel like we're worthy of being loved or belong to something or someone. And when we avoid or are at risk of not meeting the needs, say for food, shelter, or our health needs, we find it hard to feel worthy or that we deserve something better. And working in the building industry, I myself have often felt void of being worthy of something. For example, when I was feeling like we were going backwards faster financially than going forwards, I would start to retreat away from, say, social contact. I'd start to push away the ones I love, as I felt like I was not meeting the needs that I thought I needed to provide for my family, such as security, that they're going to have their house to live in, putting food on the table. And I guess we sort of drop, the ideal is to get to the top of that pyramid, but as things change, you often might have to drop back down a level and sort of build yourself back up. And this is often how mental health issues start to push into our lives, when we feel we're not accomplishing or being able to provide the physiological and safety needs for our family. The third level is wanting to belong and be loved. We want acceptance among social groups. I mean, if you just look at all of the groups that are forming, say, on social media, and on Facebook alone, there are 620 million groups that have been formed. 620 million. That's people all over the world who are looking for ways to belong and feel like they are not alone. In small communities, now there's such a diverse range of people and issues that we deal with that people are starting to seek salvation in groups like these 620 million groups that have been formed on Facebook, to have that connection and a sense of belonging and love to like-minded people that they can now communicate with all over the world. You can find many groups on Facebook, for tradies or builders that are designed to connect you with and have the ability to ask for help from people. You can have conversations that you felt that you could not have before. You may have felt like no one would understand what you're going through. You can't talk about your issues in a small local community. I know for me, having access to some of these groups does make you realize that you aren't alone. You are normal, and what you may see as a bad situation, or, why does this thing happen to me all the time? Or others have gone through, you've realized that others have gone through the same or similar situations, and they are there to give you advice or to tell you what, they did maybe to make that situation better for themselves. We just need to reach out and ask, what did you do when this happened or that happened? Or what do you suggest? Those conversations can very well save a life and save a business. And just like it ain't weak to speak, one conversation can trigger a change in you for the better. It can make someone feel like they have a home, a sense of belonging, that they have been able to that they might not have been able to satisfy before. When we become absent of belonging and love, we become more susceptible to anxiety and depression, which can in turn take us back to the lower hierarchy levels when we start losing motivation to achieve the basic needs in life. An example would be, finding it difficult to get up and go to work to earn money, to give you the security and the security to your family. And it sort of becomes a vicious cycle. And the fourth level of this needs is esteem. So esteem is when you want to feel like you're achieving. You are respected. You want to have confidence and independence along with freedom. We start our own business so we can have freedom, the freedom to be who we want to be or to do what we want to do. And even though we end up probably working more hours than what we might have when we're employed, we still feel like we've reached a level of esteem when we start our own business. And we can say, yeah, we've got our business. And, you have the ability to be able to do whatever you want. So in the four lower levels of the hierarchy, as we get rid of the deficiencies or achieve what we were lacking, for example, you've finally achieved financial security or you've achieved love, your motivation to obtain at these levels decreases, meaning once you've satisfied these needs, such as this physiological needs, the safety and belonging and esteem, we look to satisfy our higher needs. But at different times in our lives and with what is happening in the world right now, people are slipping back to the lower levels of needs. We're looking for security, love and belonging, as we're being, I guess some would say, neglected of these things in this COVID crisis. This is why we are seeing more mental health issues arising. And as I spoke about in episode, I think it was 32, there are more people becoming homeless. People are losing that financial security. They're losing the physiological battle to feed their families, to clothe their families and to provide for them. And if we keep pushing higher and looking to become, I guess, more, we move into self-actualization. And this is where we are satisfying, I guess not satisfying, we're satisfied with meeting ours and our family's needs. You might start looking towards obtaining more skills or continuing on with further education and seeking happiness along with freedom in whatever way you might imagine it. This may, like me, begin an endeavor to make the world a better place for yourself and your family, or it could be, I guess, extend further to wanting to make a difference for other people in the world. And I've found once you get to this self-actualization level that you start to realize that it isn't weak to speak, that there are people that would give you support when you need it. You know, I just today sent a message to my business coach and said, look, I'm really struggling to get through what we need to get through to get to where I want to get to. And she replied back and said, Ange, it's okay. Let me know if you need any support. You know, so there are people out there that will give you that support if you ask for it. And this was also shown to me when my son was in hospital. I had friends reaching out to me daily asking if I needed anything. You know, did we need meals that they would cook for us, or did we need anything just brought up to the hospital? And I've come to the realization that when we start to become more open and vulnerable, and we start to see what really matters to people and also to yourself. So there are ways that we can fast track our results or get to the destination we are longing for. We just need to decide to do it. Just do it. You know, ask yourself, what do we need to change, or what will it take to reach my goal quicker? We often ask ourselves, what is wrong with me? You know I do. I think to myself, I'm smart enough to get to where I want to, but there are these things that keep stopping me. You need to become clear on the person you need to become. The decisions that are going to have, I guess, the decisions that you have to make and where you need your attention to flow to rather than away from. You know, what are the results that you're after? Get clear on the needs you need to make to break through to the next level of needs. Consult with the higher self if you have one. You know, always think or work higher than what you are at the moment. I often talk to my other self. So I have Angela and Ange. And Ange tends to get things done and looks forward, but Angela is the one who creeps in and puts doubt in my head that I might not be able to do things or achieve something, or, you know, whatever I'm trying to do. So often I drive along the Esplanade looking out to the ocean, and Ange is telling Angela to get a grip and that there's nothing bad happening and to just sort yourself out and keep moving forward. You know, and we all have times like that where we just, you know, can't seem to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So who do you have talking you through these times? I saw a friend put up a post on Facebook showing a, you know, prisoner of war photo and saying things aren't that bad. And we often need to have these conversations with ourselves compared to going to war, or compared to some of the atrocities that people have endured throughout the humankind, you know. But if we aren't okay, reach out, ask someone for support. We often don't want to bother people, but bother away. Help lift that burden off your shoulders. We are there for you. And I guess I wasn't really expecting the conversation to go this way, but let's start a community. Let's start a group where conversations can be had. Conversations where you feel, you know, you are heard and you're understood. So today I'll set up a Facebook group called Talk Up Builders. You know, so talk up to what you want to become, what you want to be. Talk to people about what is bothering you. You know, what can't you get through to break through to get you to that higher level? So I'll post a link on this page, on Builders Talk, and my other social pages. And, you know, I guess get ourselves into gear and help our industry perform at a higher speed. So until next week, I'll see you then.